Here are some differences between two different LED strip lights. They're both 5630 in size, so 56 millimeter by 30 millimeter is the SMD element. And I wanted to try to get the brightest LED I could get for the money, and the 5630 is supposed to be the latest and greatest and a little bit brighter than the 5050. And I went with this cheaper Supernight brand just to see what they were all about, because they're really inexpensive. This is a 5-meter reel, and they're the pure white LED. And then this is the LED Wholesalers brand, which is, this one was I think $12. These guys were $35, I think, and it's 16 feet, so you don't get as much, you don't get as many of them. And but they're also the 5630. And these guys are a lot dimmer than the LED Wholesalers one. These are so dim, in fact, that I could not make a light fixture in this little area that I've got here out of these things. They're just too dim. I put 4 strips running back and forth, and still it wasn't bright enough. They're just so much dimmer. Whereas these guys, just one single strip was enough brightness. And so I ended up making a light fixture with 2, just so I could really go really bright if I needed to. And I think they do dim over time. People talk about the LEDs going a little bit dimmer over time. So if I put 2 of them in here and run them at a little bit lower power, maybe it'll last a little bit longer. It won't get, it'll never be too dim. So the big difference between these two that I can see visually is there's this yellow part that's inside of the 5630 package. And on the cheap strip, the yellow part that's inside of each one of these 5630 packages is about that size relatively. Whereas in the LED Wholesalers one, the yellow part is that size. So that's the only visual difference between the two. But these things are so much brighter that I think that has a really big, there's an importance there. So you can't just go by getting the number, the 5630, when you're purchasing these things. Because these guys are not nearly as bright, and there is a physical difference that I can see. This little yellow part is very tiny compared to the yellow part of these guys here, LED Wholesaler brand. So something to watch out for. And then to power it, I guess I can show that too. I've got this this power supply that also came from the super cheap place that gave me the Supernight here. And this power supply sucks because it's got this LED on it, and it draws power even when it's all off. So it's drawing 0.7 watts right now when nothing is on. So I'm going to see if I can get a different one of these from another place. So this is just a 12 volt 3 amp supply, and that goes into this wireless receiver, which has got this transmitter here. I got this from Harico Lights, and I really like this. This is going to work out well, I think. It's an RF transmitter, and it powers the receiver, and then that just in line goes over to the LED strips. And then I just soldered a wire under the end here, and then over here, just joined the two together, and then this one just comes over here and ends. And you can just hit the power to turn it on and off, and you can adjust the brightness in steps by holding down these brightness buttons here. And then there's some presets. You can go to 100% and 50 and 25. If you go to 100%, the wattage is 14 watts, and if I go down to 25, it is 3.7 watts. And if you go to 100 and kind of lower it a little bit, which is what I'm going to probably do, so I'm not running it at full power, and if I turn it off and then turn it back on, it remembers the setting, and that's very nice. So I can just turn it on and off, and it'll work great. And then it does have this other stuff here if you want to get the party started. It's got some different flashing modes. So, and it remembers that too. You turn it on and off. But I'll just go back to 100% and lower it a little bit and turn it off. So yeah, that's it. My light fixture is just 1/4 inch plywood. It's all glued together, and I cut a little notch in here so I can slide in one of these plastic pieces that I cut from a bigger one that goes into like kitchen light fixtures. I just cut everything on a table saw and stained it and put a little polyurethane on it, and it's kind of overkill because I could just tape them up here, but this is press board, and people have complained that these things don't stick forever because they get a little bit warm. So I just decided to stick them into this little enclosure here, and I've got some little pieces of wood to go and screw in here to hold them in place in case they ever do come unstuck. But yeah, that's it.